So recently, you provided us with some pictures of yourself from when you were younger.
Oh.
Yes, I did. Brought back a lot of memories.
We're gonna show you those pictures.
Uh-huh.
And we're gonna learn a little bit more about you.
Okay.
Here's the first photo.
Oh, I was so cute. Here, I was probably around, I'm not sure, I think about 2 or 3 years old. I was in the Philippines, and I remember my grandma took my picture. I just remember when my yaya would put those ribbons and I didn't like it. Did you see me smile here? I'm not smiling.
This one is July 1969, just before I got deployed to Vietnam. That was the first time that I was getting sent out to go to combat. I was 19 when I went. That was a very tumultuous time in my life because I was involved in lots of close, heavy combat and killed a lot of people, lost a lot of friends, got to meet people from a foreign country with all kinds of different culture than I have. Very enlightening experience.
Oh, I'm gonna get sentimental, I can tell already. That's me, my little brother. It's hard to tell, but that's our backyard in Sacramento on C Street. It was 2 blocks from McKinley Park, which we spent a lot of time at because it had a public swimming pool and we loved to swim. We were down there every day. I know I was pretty proud of that dress. I remember that particular dress. And I love my little brother. He's just the cutest little thing. And he looked great in his suit there. He's passed away. He eventually lost his life due to complications to diabetes. So every time I see a picture like that, I get very emotional.
Oh, how cute. Yeah, this one I was about 5 years old, and I was living with my cousins in a place in Manila called Remedios, and the one in the background is my cousin, but he passed away. He was like a brother to me. He's my favorite cousin. I remember those days. It makes me sad, but aside from that, it was fun. I had fun during my childhood days. I was a spoiled brat.
I was taken at the hospital in Da Nang, Vietnam in 1970 in June. I had been shot, and they gave me my Purple Heart. I was kind of sad because I just found out my unit had all been killed. I was a fortunate survivor. They had been shot that morning. They'd shipped me out, and those guys had been killed by a booby-trapped artillery round. They told me to smile, and it wasn't working.
Oh, yes. Well, that's when I first came to Hollywood. I had this wild, crazy notion that I was just going to quit San Jose State, jump in my Mustang, drive down to L.A. When I was ready to start my so-called career, I realized I didn't have a phone, I didn't have money, I didn't have a job. So I packed up again. I drove back to San Jose State. I threw myself on the mercy of the dean at the college and said, I made a terrible mistake. Can I come back to school? Because I wasn't prepared. I thought I was going to run off to Hollywood and be a star. I went to my first day of classes. I picked up the trades, and I saw this audition for Walt Disney and NBC. I jumped in my Mustang. I drove over to Burbank Studios, and I sort of just mustered all my strength and kind of faked it through the audition, and before I even got back to the dorm, they offered me a job to tour the United States, Canada, and Mexico as Alice in Wonderland, and I never looked back.
Oh, this was when I was 15 years old, because I got married 16. I was a happy teenager, but I got married early because they scolded me. I had to elope, have a kid at 16. I just had my hair done, I think, in this picture. And they said, let's take your picture. I said, okay. And now, no more hair.
Oh, that's a real-life gunfight. I was a deputy sheriff in that one. I think it was probably 1983. There was a friend of mine, actually an acquaintance of mine, who was wanted at a particular house down in a place called Rubidoux, California, and he tried to kill a couple buddies of mine. And in this picture, I'm running to go evacuate people who are right next to his house. I love people, and most of the guys I know that are involved in that do it out of a love for people, a love for humanity. It's one of the most rewarding yet difficult jobs you can have.
Oh, and that's when I got married. And the reason there's a desert background is because my husband and I love the desert. So instead of having a traditional wedding and having photographers come to the wedding, we went to a photographer's studio, a friend of ours, and my cowboy painted that background because he's an artist, and we took these lovely pictures ahead of time. So when everyone came to the wedding, we just had a book there and had everyone look through the book and they could take their choice right there at the wedding. I didn't get married till I was in my I was almost 40. Been together ever since, over 30 years, and guess what? The honeymoon's still on. It was love at first sight, and I knew he was my bridge across eternity.
So now, after briefly taking us through some parts of your life, what is it like for you being on Elders React and having so many people not only be impacted by your opinions, but to know that they are also interested in your life and wanted a video like this made about you?
I like it. It means they're interested in us. Oh my God, somebody recognized me. Let me put my sunglasses on. But I like it though. It's fun.
As you get older, you tend to get dismissed a lot because people have a certain amount of limited patience for older people. So it's nice to be in a venue where people seem to be intrigued by your history and your story and what you have to share with them.
The Elders React show is one of the absolute funnest things I've ever got to do. I've met a lot of interesting people because of this show, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to share. We're all friends. We all love each other. It's like a family. Being old in body, it doesn't mean you have to be old in mind. You really can enjoy your whole life all the way up to the end.